Whoa. I've never had that happen before where this
How is it happening?
Lord.
Who's doing it?
That would have been my computer that did that.
Oh, that's your computer? No wonder.
Yeah, and I didn't even touch it.
Well,
it's
this thing in front of me
saying,
says
"Look
it's
presentable, David. It's being recorded."
but
Maybe it wasn't me because I just tried
my
to turn it off and it
choices
said
are-
ask the host to turn it off.
but my choices say that I'm consenting to be recorded and I either continue or leave the meeting. I don't want to do either one.
Oh, it was Janet. See?
This must be very new. But anyway, so with
Well, I'll at least move it out of the way here.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, we do record the services to then eventually put them up on our YouTube channel. We felt that a lot of people really enjoyed listening to the meditations again, as well as the guest lecturers and we've had so many over the last since last year March, and even Randi and Ryan is our guest speakers tonight, and they're part of the Twintuitions, which is a wonderful name.
Thank you.
So very fitting. And we're very blessed to have them here to speak to us a little bit later, and they are now part of the Open Doorway, or have been a part of the Open Doorway family. They're part of Ryan is extended spiritual family. We took the psychic development class together what seems like many moons ago, but maybe it wasn't so many moons ago.
Right.
But yeah, we're just very fortunate to have them here calling in via Zoom from the West Coast. As you can see, the sun is much brighter there. But we will start the service today, and of course, if anybody joins in, they'll join in. And if anybody, I know some people may be self-conscious about the cameras on, but I really love to see people's faces. And if Siobhan,
You too.
or Jimmy, or
Terence, could you ask people to tell us where they are? I mean, we know that California, but I don't know about the other people.
And maybe just turn on your camera. I didn't put my makeup on either, so it's okay.
Eating dinner, so sparing people the sight. So that's all.
I can see.
Oh, there's Siobhan. Hi.
Where Mary's at. She's in Florida. Where are you, Siobhan?
I'm at home.
You're all home? Okay. And you're welcome. It's nice to see you here when you're not a guest speaker.
Connecting, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Co-ministering. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you for turning on your cameras. I like seeing bright and smiling faces. So, as opposed to some people like seeing frowns, I don't know, but I like to see smiling faces. And we will begin with service with an invocation. So just close your eyes for a moment. Spirit, Divine Parent, bless our efforts with clear insight, in our deliberation with wisdom, our work with clarity and accuracy, and our decisions to always be impartial with the wisdom that we've gained this evening. And may our hearts be open to receive the healing light and energy to come forth through you. And may our spirits rise to be better, to be stronger, and to take some of this energy that we will be bestowed this evening, not just this energy that you have given us through healing and through wisdom, but also being together as a community. And let that strength of being one as a community be instilled in our hearts as we go forth after the service. So allow us to be open and clear for all of the above. Amen.
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 Usually there's a little bit of a pause through transition because I'm a one-man band. Like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins. If I got my drum strapped to my back, my bells on my feet. So we will move on to reading the Spiritualist Principles. And if you'd like to read along with me out loud, I welcome you. That's why I put it up on the screen for you all to see. But if you want to just quietly recite the words in your mind, that is just as effective and just as powerful to you and to others. We subscribe to the following principles. Infinite intelligence, the deity, the designing and creating energy for everything in the universe. One universe, many dimensions. From one source came all that is present in our world, our galaxy, and beyond. The immortal soul. The soul is eternal. We seek truth within ourselves, from other souls, from sacred writings, and from the natural order that sustains us. Communication between material and the non-material world. Spirit transcends all dimensions, all souls, flesh, and spirit communicate with each other. Personal responsibility. Cause produces through thoughts, words, and deeds. We create ourselves and our circumstances. And we are singly responsible for choices and creations. The golden rule. Do unto others have them do unto you. Is our highest morality. Thank you. And just a little fun fact, I know some people who have come to a lot of Open Doorway services, we've read this, feels like so many times that, you know, it's engraved into our minds. But it is it's a different variation of the spiritualist principles that most spiritualist communities are used to. This has actually been molded and shaped from originally, Paul, but he originally took these principles laid out in layman's terms, or kind of a more easier way to understand them, from the Church of the Wildwood, which is a spiritualist church in Templeton, Massachusetts, which he was ordained and also became pastor of for a short while before he came to New York City, and became Reverend Paul Baudet. We always joke that he was Reverend squared because of it. But he shaped these principles a little bit more than they were from the Church of the Wildwood, and they have been following us ever since. And I just wanted to share that all for you, where we got these principles and how they morphed from 9 to 7, and how the language is not as scientific or archaic.
Yes.
Okay, so now for the healing meditation. So if everybody would just find, if you're not already in a comfortable place, find a comfortable place, wiggle in your chair, maybe put a back pillow under, on your behind your back, and we will get ourselves ready for meditation. And everybody can hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. So I'm just going to have everybody just mute their mic for me. That way, then, if there's any honks or horns or loud birds chirping, it's just me on my end.
How do we do that? Oh, mute.
There you go, Janet. You got it. And when you find yourself in that comfortable spot, close your eyes. And gently breathe in and out. Feel that air being brought in through your nose and brought into your lungs and filling your lungs. Feel the vibration of that air in your lungs. And feel that air passing your lips as you breathe out. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Again, really feel that air entering your body. And then breathe out. Your body begins to relax. Any random emotions, maybe some laughter that springs out from your heart, just let it flow out. Any smiles are welcome as well, as your body begins to relax. With every breath, feel completely relaxed. Shoulders begin to loosen. Any pains in your neck begin to fade away. The arms begin to feel weightless. You fall to your lap or to your side. Your back begins to relax. Any tenseness in your legs, that begins to fade away. Any thoughts or worries or in your mind, just begin to drift away and are no longer there. Just an empty mind, clear and relaxed body, feeling weightless. And floating. Now, completely relaxed, mind clear. The room around you begins to fade, and you are completely surrounded in a white light of love and healing energy. This white light feels like a thick cloud, glowing warm, glowing bright. You feel its warmth against your face, against your heart. You begin to feel that warmth all over your body as it relaxes you even further. This feeling of warmth comes over you in this white light, as though it was a warm bath, shower. Your joints and muscles feel loose and at ease. And you feel this warmth in your heart. Fills you up with love and healing energy. Whatever woes, whatever heartaches, maybe whatever little guilt that was there. Envision that as a little cloud of black, like soot. You see that negative soot and that negative thought. It could be soot, it could be anything that's tangible to you. That no longer serves you, no longer aligns to who you are and where you're meant to go. So any of those negative feelings or thoughts that you had, envision them, something tangible to you, and see that energy being gathered up together in one. The light around you recognizes it, sees it as wrong, sees it as no longer serving you. And like an outstretched hand reaches in, absorbs that negative energy till it's no more, as though it evaporated, consumed by the warmth and by the light that surrounds you. Your body, your heart feels lighter now. No longer carrying that extra weight, something that no longer served you. You feel it being replaced. This immense love, this immense gratitude, hope, and faith. You feel these. Spirit wants you to feel what truly matters to you and to your spirit. That love, that light, that warmth, now the light, recognizing that it has filled your heart and begins to move its way up into your mind. There's some thoughts and some worries there that no longer serve you. Weigh you down from what you're meant to accomplish. Begin to feel that warmth hang over your mind. Envision that light surrounding you. Your whole face and head illuminated by it. As though a ray of sunshine has decided just to beam on you. And the more and more brightens. The more and more you feel those worries, those bad thoughts, those disintegrate into nothing. As though putting a piece of paper into fire, you see the embers of that energy, the negative energy, floating away, taken away by the wind elsewhere. No longer serving you, no longer within you. Well, what does your mind want to replace it with? What does your heart want to replace it with? Answer is simple. Love, that light that you felt in your heart. Let it fill your mind. How does it fill your mind? Maybe it's the memory of a loved one, giving you a hug. Maybe it's seeing the images of your friends, family, loved ones, laughing, smiling. Maybe it's the beauty of a sunrise, or the magic of a sunset. Or clear blue waters. Clear blue skies. Or snowy peaks of mountains. Snowy peaks of trees. Or maybe a sandy beach full of treasures to find from Mother Nature. Maybe just a brush of the wind or the cool grass underneath your feet. You feel blessed seeing these images. You feel warm. You feel supported. You feel like you can take on anything. And Spirit is telling you you can. And you feel it in your heart. And you see it in your mind. And that light around you begins to be brighter, warmer, and it fills your aura, fills your heart and mind again. Some more. And just for a little while, just for another moment, spend some time feeling those blessings and feeling that love, embracing and absorbing that light into your body. Now sensing and knowing that this light must go. Begin to see clear image, sense of the room around. As though this light was a cloud drifting back into the walls, the space that surrounds you. Slowly begin to feel sensation in your fingers and toes. You may feel some tingling there, and that's okay. You can wiggle them and wiggle your fingers. And begin to feel the weight of your body wherever you're sitting. Begin to feel the sensation in your shoulders and neck, back and legs, and arms. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes and return. It's like I woke up from a dream and I'm seeing beautiful faces. Beautiful, wonderful new faces. Not so new, but new to me right now. Frida, Elise, thanks for joining on. And guess what I said before where I wanted smiling faces? It's like I opened my eyes and I had just a bunch of smiling faces. I'm like, isn't that the best feeling? Having just a bunch of smiling faces look at you. Hope everyone's relaxed and feeling good. if everyone would like to read along with me, please do. As we further the healing energy out into the world, and then also into ourselves. We ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from our minds and bodies and to restore us to perfect health. We ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and we will do our part. We ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. We put our trust in the love and power of Spirit. Amen. Thank you for joining me on that journey, and for the next step in our journey for this service. We go to the offering portion of the service, and I was talking to, of course, Ryan a little bit earlier, and of course Randi, who I've never met before, but it feels like I have met in a way. And if those who are just joining, Randi and Ryan are the two lovely ladies in the sharing the one screen, and they're going to be our guest speakers today. But in discussing of Twintuitions, which is their company, their project, I learned that Randi is a social worker, and with this certification in schooling with or dealing with like kids and social work in schools. And so social work actually was one of the many things that I thought I was going to do in college when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Spirit had other things in mind, but anyways, education was really a powerful message that was instilled in me at a very young age. A lot to do with my parents, and a lot to do with my education itself. And I was very fortunate, but I was fortunate growing up to be in a home and to have things, be afforded to me, and I had food on the table every night, and I didn't really want anything, but that's not the case for all children. And so I felt very inspired to that, because somehow our offering always seems to be very themed to something that's going on. And I felt that this was a remarkable organization, and it's called the Children's Defense Fund. And it was actually started by a wonderful woman who I would recommend to anybody to do research on this woman, because she is like amazing. But her name is Marian Wright Edelman, and she was a civil rights activist back in the 60s, and she even influenced Martin Luther King and a lot of other civil rights activists. But her project, what she wanted to champion and support was supporting our children. It didn't matter what race they were, but supporting all children. So I chose for today's offering. Now, of course, with the pandemic going on, and our Open Doorways overhead was very reasonable, and we just didn't feel right asking for money to come to us when we'd rather see that money going elsewhere right now, when so many people need help. So if you feel so inclined and wanted to contribute money to the Open Doorway, we would have you direct your attention and maybe whatever energy or financial energy towards the Children's Defense Fund. And as you can see up on the screen, they've been around for 40 years, and they're just there to level the playing field for all children. And they have offices all over the United States, but they have one in Washington, D.C., where they champion policies and programs to lift children out of poverty and protect them from abuse and neglect. And I'm sure, Randi, you've over in your career, you've seen a lot of that. And of course, ensure their access to healthcare and quality education. And what I really appreciated, a moral and spiritual foundation, and why we're all here. So I will drop the link in the chat for everybody if you'd like to check it out. But also look up Marian Ray Edelman. I'll put her name in the chat too. She's just a very fascinating and interesting lady. And when you watch videos of her, her voice just eludes strength and leadership. All right. Thank you for bearing with me in my spiel. And of course, why a lot of us are here is to hear the next portion of our wonderful service is to, and of course, we will hear them in a moment. I want to just make a little introduction to Twintuitions, which consists of Randi and her sister Ryan. Randi, as I had clued in a little bit earlier, is a certified social work and with a specializes in school social work, and bringing her expertise and her knowledge and experience to the one half of Twintuitions. And of course, I'm sure very spiritual, because you'd have to be very spiritual to do that work, but also be, it feels as though that in your family, it's spiritual is the thing. So, but then you have the other piece of the equation, Ryan, who brings in, who is a certified Reiki practitioner, certified psychic medium, and bringing that other element to Twintuitions, and together they form this, feels like this superhero group or duo. And so without further ado, they will take over the stage and share their wisdom with us. Oh, it looks like, it seems like you're muted there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. I am so sorry. That was a wonderful, thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you for having us here, Terence. I really appreciate it. And I'm so happy all of you were here to make it and take the time out to listen to us. We have a nice treat for you all. We are Twintuitions. So I am an intuitive consultant, more on the spiritual side. A little bit of background. We just kind of pretty much decided to bridge the gap because we noticed a lot of similarities in our respective fields. For me, I would do a reading and there was a lot of trauma and a lot of grounding that was needed and things of that nature. And I could tell them that, but I didn't have the necessary steps, the action steps to have them put it in place. And so my sister and I decided to develop Twintuitions because she had the action steps. So every time we talked, I was able to utilize some of her expertise in order to help my clients and those that I did, conducted readings for, as well as being a Reiki practitioner and noticing certain chakras that were off balance and dealing with some childhood trauma. So my sister is excellent in that. As Terence mentioned, she works with kids. So she also sees very sensitive kids as well. So she'll tell me on the side, like, hey, this kid doesn't need drugs, they're just sensitive. And dealing with past mental health experiences myself, I was able to we were just seeing how it all kind of comes together, and the importance of mind, body, spirit. So that became our passion, is mind, body, spirit, and providing information. So we do have an Instagram. If any of you want to follow, it is at Twintuitions, just like you've seen in the announcement. And so you can find us on Instagram, and we have everything down to diet, natural skincare, mental health, and of course, Wednesday Wisdoms, where we do a little bit of readings and stuff like that. But that's just a little bit about what we do.
Thank you, Terence. I appreciate the introduction, as well as the organization that you had commented on and announced. So yes, I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So I am a psychotherapist, and I work particularly with schools, with the communities. And I see a lot of different things that come across. And so what I wanted to do is I really wanted, both of us, as we were speaking, and Ryan had, when she introduced me to you guys, I was like, okay, who's the audience? Who are we speaking with? And the reason why I do that is because I want to make sure that we're tailoring what we have to say to people that's relevant. And so what we came up with is really healing the healer. So whether you are a healer in your own profession, so if you're in a profession of healing people or helping people heal, I think that the tips and tools that we have for you today is very helpful. In addition to that, I feel like it's for everybody. And the reason why I say it's for everybody is because we truly believe that everyone can benefit. We do believe that everybody has the innate ability to heal themselves. And the tips and tools that we also use really can help you to target and to bring out the power that you have within you. So the beautiful meditation that we did before with Terence and stuff like that, I think is just it sets us up very nicely as to some of the things that we would recommend you do if this is something that you really want to, look inward, rediscover certain powers that you may have, use your ancestral wisdom and spirit to truly either heal yourself, help others heal, and empower and encourage them to heal themselves. Or again, if you do this as a profession. So we just really want to make sure that we were doing that. So as Ryan described with Twintuitions, we do have people that come to us that they're like, okay, fix me or heal me, or I need my basic needs met and things like that. And I think that it's really important to remind people, just again, that innate ability that you have within yourself. And what we do is kind of like Bob the Builder. We just give you the tools for you to be able to have that ability to have insight and the ability to go ahead and do that for yourself.
And also create that space. And that's what's very important. That meditation was awesome, Terence, by the way. I just wanted to say, it was funny when you mentioned the emotions coming up, because you had directed your attention to the birds, and then that's all I could hear were the birds. So I got a little giggly there, but meditations like that, it's just creating space. Like, I didn't realize I needed that meditation as much as I did. Running around, my sister has dealt with clients all day today, and I've been running around running errands. And then I was like, wow, that meditation was something I very much needed. And it's all about taking that time for yourself. And so we want to almost give you all permission to do that, because I think through COVID and just all the different things that we're going through, and taking care of people that may have been sick because of COVID and things of that nature, not just those that are healers in the profession, but also those that are caretakers of other people. And I'm a mother, so I take care of 2 little ones that are very rambunctious, 2 boys. And we have to remind ourselves that we have to fill our own cup in order to pour into others. And so I think it's kind of become a trend for self-care. Take a bubble bath and everything's fine. But they're missing those key points, that time for silence, that check in with yourself and things of that nature. So Randi's going to kind of dive into some steps that she advises her clients to take on. And they kind of pretty much coincide with a lot that I recommend for people as well. But it's always a great reminder. So if you have heard of these before, which again, meditation is one of them. So a lot of us have heard of meditation, but do we actually take the time to do it? So I really encourage you to, whether you want to grab a notebook or something of that nature, just to jot down certain things that you may have not thought about. So again, I'll give it to Randi to give some of her bullet points, but also I'll have another thing that you guys can do as well.
Okay, so here's some action steps that you can incorporate into your daily routine. One of the biggest emphasis that I like to let people know is really the importance of self-care and self-love. As Ryan was just suggesting and sharing with you, a lot of us are caretakers in our everyday life, whether it's taking care of our adult family members, or maybe you're in the caring profession, or maybe you have young kids that you're caring for. It's really important to take the time to give ourselves that self-care and replenish whatever we've lost. And we've, a lot of us in the care profession create that space for others, but oftentimes we don't create that space for ourselves or give ourselves that time to recharge. So that would be a number one step that I would really encourage and challenge all of you to do, is to really incorporate self-care and self-love into your daily routine. And we can tell you exactly how you can do that. The next one is really body awareness. My sister and I really look at, with Twintuitions, it's really a holistic approach. We're talking mind, body, and spirit. And so oftentimes when we're on the go, whether someone is stressed or has gone through traumas, or just maybe triggered in some way, oftentimes we don't take the time to really focus on our bodies and really discover, okay, what's kind of going on? Where are there tensions and constrictions? How am I breathing right now? So really taking that time to honor where you're at. There's a beautiful book that talks about trauma staying in the body, that the body remembers. And so I really want you guys to think about those things as you go about your day. So some of the things that you can do is really go inward. So if you're sitting at your desk or before bed, or even waking up in the morning, check in with yourself. You can do a beautiful meditation that really checks you in, focusing on that anchor, like Terence had brought up earlier, and then kind of moving throughout your body, focusing on your core, the lower spine, and just working your way up, trying to see how everything's feeling. And then attach, see what thoughts come up for you as you start to pinpoint different things in your body. So that. Another thing that you can do is really work with breath work as well as yoga. So mindful movement, really moving your body daily, so that you can increase not only just your physical health, but also it increases the mental health as well, the emotional health, because you're really moving. And our bodies are made of energy. We have energy all over. So if we're able to move, we can move that energy around and get us healthy. So I think that's a really important thing that I would really stress, is by that body awareness. And also thinking about, thoughts and feelings that may come up for you. And that can be in regards to other people, situations, all of those different things, just really being mindful of those things. Another one that I want to talk about is boundary setting. The importance of boundary setting, not even as just a healer, but also as a professional or as just a person. Really recognizing that there are internal boundaries within yourself that you want to make sure that you check in with, and see how that is, and see your in respect to everyone else, but also external boundaries. So making sure you're not allowing everybody kind of sucking you dry, and sucking that energy out of you. If you are a giver, a natural giver, making sure that you're setting clear boundaries with yourself, and making sure you're able to say no to certain situations to protect your boundaries and to protect your energy. And like I said, professionally, if you are in the healing profession, take time for yourself. Really make sure that you set very clear boundaries with others and your clients. So that's going to be another one for myself. And as a therapist, I do that very often. So it's very, very important. I can't stress that enough. So there's two more that
I will say, I will just interject a little bit, because boundaries is a huge thing. I feel like, especially for the sensitive community, intuitive community, spiritual community, a lot of people say make boundaries, but they don't really know how. And they don't realize there's more than one type of boundary. And I really learned that from my sister, because I protect my energy by creating that white light, that white bubble, and, protecting my aura. If I start feeling threatened, or that I'm not feeling a good vibe from another person, then I'll protect my aura, I'll protect my boundaries and create that white light. So that's what I'm aware of for boundaries. But also, again, just by interacting with other people, learning to making those physical boundaries. And what I learned also as an empath was crossing my legs or crossing my arms. Now, not in a setting that, that you want to interact with other people, but if you happen to be feeling maybe a lot of energy from a certain person and they're sitting across from you, crossing your legs can really help, because it's almost as if you're just telling the universe and everything around you that I don't want to interact with this person or get too close to this person. So maybe not necessarily the arms, because that can be a little rude, but maybe even the legs. That's a huge thing that I learned for me to kind of create that physical barrier from someone that is kind of encroaching on my energy. So I really just wanted to interject there, because for her, the boundaries were be okay with saying no, and things of that nature. And I was mostly focused on the spiritual aspect of it, but knowing that there's more than one boundary to cross is very, very important, because that way, if you have a clear understanding of the boundaries and know where your boundaries start and stop, then you can
Enforce them.
Exactly.
In an
Exactly.
appropriate way. So yes, exactly. And be mindful that boundaries are to be set for everyone. So, you don't just use the excuse that they're my family, and so I can't say no to family. Or I think it's even more important to be able to set boundaries with family members and others, so that everyone has an awareness of, where you stand. And you can do this by also looking internally, and you can think about how much space do you need, physical space. I mean, where do you see your boundary? What color is your boundary? What shape is your boundary? And just visualize that. And you can use that also to help you to tap into how you should situate it. Okay, so the other one piece that I feel like is very, very important is mindfulness. So mindfulness is very, very important, because the definition of mindfulness is really being present and acknowledging the thoughts and the feelings that come up for you without any judgment, having compassion for yourself, and having compassion for others, and being able to do, like I said, mindful movement, mindful meditation, just carving out that time for yourself to go inward and to actually, like I said, be very present and have non-judgment and compassion, having that grace for yourself. Oftentimes we give that to other people, and rarely we give it to ourselves. So it's just giving you permission to do that. And I would like Ryan to really take on an example of how she's incorporated mindfulness in her daily routine.
Yes. And again, there's a lot of words that we hear on a consistent basis. And the thing that what most people struggle with is, what are the how-tos, or what can I do specifically? And I thought, okay, why not share what I do on a day-to-day basis in order to maintain that mindfulness and fill up my cup? I do that primarily through my mindful morning. So I spell it MY. And I thought I was all clever until I Googled it. And I'm like, oh, there's quite a few mindful, but it is mine. It's mine, and I created it. And the steps that I pretty much take is I create a coffee ritual. And someone might say, like, what? And I look forward to this morning every single morning. So what I do is coffee. I love it. I love it. Can't get rid of it. No one can take it away from me. I stop from drinking it all day to then just once a day. So because it's so special, right? So this is why I look forward to my morning. I start off by not hitting the snooze button. And a lot of people hit that snooze button. And then what ends up happening? You're late. Now you're rushing. Then you end up in traffic. You run a stop sign. The cop pulls you over. It just kind of creates a downhill effect from there. But if you create some space for yourself, and just 1 hour even, it can change the whole trajectory of your day. You can have a more productive day by creating just a morning routine or a ritual. How I do this is I have my coffee, and that's where I ground. And you're like, okay, how can coffee be grounding? Well, I activate my 5 senses. I taste the coffee. I feel the warmth on my hands. I look around me, my surroundings. I love to drink coffee outside. It's just one of my most favorite things in the world, because I could just take that time to really enjoy the beauty around me, nature. And I sip that coffee and I just feel it going down. And that is my grounding technique. It feels good. It tastes good. And it's before my kids wake up. So it's just that little piece for me. And so I really look forward to that. And you know what? You could, if you're not a coffee drinker, it may be your tea. It may be your, warm water with lemon, the first water of the day after your fast from sleeping all night. But I really encourage you to have some sort of ritual, and yoga, breath work. I've incorporated all of those in my routine because it's mine. So whatever I enjoy doing, I make it a point to do that in my morning. So I shorten my meditation to about 15 minutes. I do my coffee. No, I actually meditate before my coffee. So I do my meditation right when I wake up, drink my coffee, take in everything, ground. I may do a few yoga poses. For a while, I was doing some exercise, and it's really whatever you want to make it. And then another part of my morning is I write 3 to 5 things I'm grateful for. I don't write it down as much anymore, but if you are a writer, totally, because by writing, it's like you're just activating, and then you soon sometimes you can start writing a bunch of other things. But starting your day off with gratitude and being in a space of gratitude is like, there's no better way to wake up in the morning, right? And it could be you probably had a really crappy day the day before, but by talking about the things that you are grateful for, I'm up, I'm breathing, I'm safe, I have a house, whatever it is for you. If you can find 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for in the morning, and I have a gratitude journal. So that's where I do it. And if you can do that every day, I promise you your day will go so much smoother. And it really doesn't take that much time. Like I said, I wake up an hour early and do all of these things. So I may shorten it, but again, it's that little piece of what fills my cup. And even a book, maybe reading a book just one chapter of a book that you've been wanting to read, or you're just reading for your pleasure, or whatever the case may be. It's all about you in that moment. And so that's why our topic today is healing the healer and filling your own cup, because these are things that we all often shrug off and say we don't have time for, but you have to make the time. And not everyone's a morning person. I understand that. So maybe you want to do it at night. You can have just a little bit of, that 1 hour aside to yourself at night, if that's more convenient for you. But it's very important to take that time to do these little things, being mindful, checking in with your body. You could do it when you first wake up in the morning, check in with your body. I often look at my chakras. So I'll do a chakra meditation. I have an elevator. I see my base chakra, the redness. What does the redness look like? The color for all your, clairvoyance people out there, what color is that red? Is it kind of dingy? Is it extremely bright? Move up to your sacral chakra. Okay, how's your orange? What's that orange looking like? What is your solar plexus and your heart, your throat, and so on and so forth? And I go up until all of my chakras are looking the way I want them to look. And again, that's setting intention. So, we don't give ourselves attention as much. And so really the key to filling up your cup and allowing you to feel good about you good about yourself within that day, and having a more productive day, allows you to serve others in the best way possible. So that's what we have for you. And we love, any questions or any other ideas that you all want to throw around, we're very much open to it. We love dialogue. So yes. We weren't sure how this was going to run, but we'd love to talk to you all about ways that you can fill your own cup, or if you liked a certain recommendation that we had, whatever you'd like, because the coffee ritual is it for me. And that really, I realized that is something I really look forward to in the day, and everyone can have that little bit like slice of heaven before they go out into their hectic day. So thank you so much again, Terence, for having us. But we just wanted to share those points, in particular, because a lot of the times we don't feel like we have permission to have those moments. And I just want to, especially for sensitive people that are just kind of being thrown curveballs every single day, it's really important.
Well, Spirit has a way of always bringing forth the message that we all need to hear at the time that it needs to be heard. So, it was incredibly not only appropriate, but also I learned a bit from it, and a lot of new things as well. But also just a reminder that that as healers, as givers, we do also have to give to ourselves. And so, I will count as one of the things in my my gratitude journal that I will designate is my gratitude for both of you joining us and talking. And of course, we'll open it up to everybody if they have questions to Randi and Ryan. If anybody has questions, this is your opportunity to unmute your mic and talk. Ask away. Nobody?
No one?
Nobody's this silent ever. Wait, I think I hear somebody. Amada's. You got.
Yes. You had mentioned when you first were speaking about a book
Yeah, that was
that speaks about holding emotions in the body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So actually I have to go get it. I blanked, I drew a blank, but it's what is it? Traumas. Oh gosh, I'm blanking right now. I always usually have it right in front of me to show, but let me see if I can find it really quick.
Is it
the body keeps
The body keeps the score.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
The body keeps the score.
The body keeps the score. Thank you so much. Yes. So yes, and I'm going to butcher the name. But yeah, I usually have the book in front of me so I can always give it, but it's by Bessel van der Kolk, MD.
okay? Thank
So
you.
it's, yeah. It talks about the brain, it talks
that
about the
title.
mind and the body and how it, and the healing process.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I have a question for. I know. I'm sorry. I don't know the twins' name that was speaking. Meaning the psychologist. I don't.
Yeah. So I'm a licensed
I'm sorry.
clinical social worker. No worries. It's okay.
Okay.
People
What-
always, yeah, it's fine.
So take that title away. What is your first name?
Randi.
Randi. Randi, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because we started off talking about your work with children, and also there's a benefit, right? So my question is specific to the team,
Mhm.
and what you would advise both of you together, but specifically also like on the grounds for a troubled teen.
Okay, so there's many ways I can go with that. So in what regard? Like suggestions as positive coping skills, how to express like positive self-expression?
I think it's more about mindfulness. How would you encourage someone who you were seeing towards mindfulness?
Okay, beautiful. So I work in a school, I work in a wellness center across from a school in, I don't know if anyone's familiar with Watts, but Watts in Los Angeles, there's a lot of trauma, a lot of grief and loss. And so I do see a lot of adolescents that are in desperate, dire need of mindfulness. And the reason why they're in need of mindfulness is because the biggest thing for me is I like to empower my adolescents in particular. I mean, everyone that I work with, but them, I feel like there is an opportunity for that growth and that change. And so what I do is I provide psychoeducation on trauma and how it affects the body and particularly the brain. So what I do is I let them know about flight or flight response. Right. So you have the fight or flight response in your rest and digest system. So your sympathetic system and your parasympathetic system. What I'd like to do is I share with them the importance of really allowing themselves to really rest, because oftentimes because of trauma, because of community violence, because of all of these different stressors that they have and what they're dealing with on a daily basis, oftentimes that flight or fight response is activated. And so they're not able to concentrate. They're not able to see what a teacher's talking about when they're hungry or they have to provide for their younger siblings. So what I do is I give them that psychoeducation to really teach them about how it's very important to be mindful. And then what I do is I incorporate, like Ryan was saying, a lot of grounding. Grounding is excellent for anxiety and also trauma. And the reason why is because it allows us to activate that parasympathetic system. So some of my favorites was what Ryan was saying, using the 5 senses. So I really make it fun for them. So I'll have them be in my office, or if we're outside, I have them look around and pay attention to 5 things they see, 4 things they feel, 3 things, so all of, the 5, they activate those 5 senses. And what I do is it helps them to be present so that fight or flight, them not being scared or they're thinking in the present moment. And so that's how I first introduced that to them. In addition to that, some other grounding one is if I do meditation, because a lot of adolescents say, I don't know how to meditate. I can't, there's too many thoughts going on in my head. And I tell them that, I'm also a yoga instructor. So I always tell them, the goal of like yoga is, to slow down the fluctuations of the mind, not to eliminate them. So it's really having control and teaching them that they have the power to control the pace at which the thoughts come up. So what I do is I'll guide them through a meditation, but, really give them that permission to say, you're not supposed to eliminate it. You're not supposed to be still and quiet all the time. It's okay to really look at yourself as if you're looking at a TV screen or you're in a theater, and, slowing down those emotions, those thoughts that pop up, and putting them in a category or putting them away for some time.
Okay. And for your sister, Ryan,
Mhm.
as a mother, what would you encourage your team to do to practice mindfulness?
Well,
Because I'm a psychic medium as well. So
yes.
so the question is pointed towards my own son.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the challenges that I'm faced with is that he's very, I think he's quite sensitive, but he's very intimidated by what mommy does.
Yes.
And so,
I'm sure. Honestly, Mike, I'm nowhere near the teens yet. I have two baby boys, one 3 years old and one 11 months, but I'm already.
Let them not grow up. Let them not grow up. Yeah.
I'm already thinking about it. But you know what? It's really about showing. It's really not about telling, because they're used to a parent telling them what to do all the time. So then it becomes they shrug you off a bit. But by actively doing it, by showing them, like go in front of them and do your meditations or whatever the case may be, not being afraid to talk about it, and not being shutting down if they have any questions themselves, but it's really your walk. And I think that that's going to get their attention more so. And they may say a few things here and there, because they're teenagers, right? Like they're always going to think whatever you're doing is weird. But my son thinks I'm weird all the time. But you know what? I noticed even in their young age, my son goes, Mom, downward dog, upward dog. And I'm sitting here like my 3-year-old, but it's because mommy does it in the morning. And when I'm finishing off my mindful morning, he's coming in and he sees these yoga poses and he says, Mom, I'm doing yoga, and he's trying to emulate me. Mm-hmm. And so although they may shrug it off at first, the best thing is to continue to walk in your walk and then allow them to see what you do. And you would be surprised how much they actually picked up, even if it seems like they're shrugging it off.
And sorry, can I add something? Because if I would have known it was geared towards you and your son, I would definitely have suggested I do parenting as well. But that is something that is huge, what she had said, modeling. So modeling for him what the behaviors and the things that you want to see in him, even as an adolescent. In addition to that, I will say, really using
That's part of my own lessons, my dear, with modeling. Yes. I'm going to tell you something. That's modeling. That's a stretch. That's a real yoga stretch.
But you know what? Give yourself some compassion and grace. We're all human beings. You know what I'm saying? We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So we all have our challenges. It's just tiny goals here and there,
Mm-hmm.
And by actively creating those goals for yourself, and they could be really tiny. It could be, I'm going to do 3 poses a day. That's it, and once you put that into motion, they start viewing that, and then they'll pick up on it. I guarantee it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, go ahead.
I was very intrigued in I'm sorry to be taking up so much space in front of everyone here, but I was very intrigued with the empowerment suggestion. I think that was very, a very good point, and definitely something that I think his age group and him specifically really need, but positive empowerment, not this sort of bulldozer effect of I'm empowered, So yeah, I think that was wonderful. Thank you so much for entertaining me. I'm sorry to take up everyone's time.
No problem.
Information for everybody. So thank you for asking, Lise.
Yes. Oh, excuse me,
Yeah,
I'm so
no,
sorry.
go ahead. What were you
I
gonna
was just gonna say, even when we do readings and we have groups of people, your question, another person may have had the exact same question, and typically it all usually ends up blending into a message that somebody gets. So if it wasn't the direct situation, it could be like, oh yeah, I guess I could use that for my kid as well. Things like
I
that.
know,
So
I know totally. I was just, the shame meter was coming on. Like, oh my God, why are you still talking? And this is Terrence's group with these lovely ladies. What are you doing?
But we
Stop
like when
it.
you talk, Elise.
Yeah, I've seen you on Instagram, and I find a lot. Could you talk a little bit? I mean, sorry, because I've looked you up. Could you talk a little bit about the products that you offer? Because I was kind of intrigued on the skincare and so on. I'm also dealing. Sorry, everybody, I have a lot of digestive issues, and Terrence knows. So, anything you can suggest or you promote?
yeah, so the skincare is really kind of funny. That's actually how I even realized I was an empath, and I became a holistic esthetician. So people would always ask me, they're like, what do you put on your skin? I said, oh, whatever you can find in your kitchen. And then people were getting rude because they thought I was hiding the secret, the secret thing. But my sister and I actually have always created our own herbal skincare, and we've always used it. And so then what happened was people were asking us to make them, and it became more and more and more. So we said, you know what, how about this? We'll do small batches, and then we'll send out what we can, or have people pick up without preservatives, and then they could use it. And it just kind of grew from there.
Also to interject, like I said, like she said, she's a licensed esthetician, and what we've noticed is, just the connection between mind, body, and spirit. And so oftentimes when you're having skin issues, when you're having digestive issues, it's not just your body, it's really something deeper going on.
Yeah, in this personal subspace here, it actually is a genetic thing. So that's what I'm dealing with. So it's a little bit, something that I can't just go get a surgery for, or something that I just meditate on. So, but I'm also interested in the ingredients. Are they American-based products, or?
They're all herbal. So we've studied herbs. Our grandmother studied herbs. All of our stuff has real herbs, no fake fragrances, nothing like that. The only thing that we use for scent would be essential oils, which are 100% organic. So in terms of the products themselves, we formulated it based off of what naturally works. No preservatives, no anything fake.
Yeah.
So we do use herbs, and we study herbs as well. So we have our own little apothecary.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes. But so just in terms of just our overall discussion, I think that we've just, with our collective efforts, have really understood the importance of mind, body, spirit, and how you have to heal the whole person. And so that's the biggest thing. I know we all have the ability to heal. It really has to do with self-awareness and really bring those up, because typically, even the skin is like the last organ that really shows what's going on internally. So oftentimes people are like, why am I breaking out? Or why? Well, you're stressed. Look at what's going on. How have you taken care of yourself?
Or your liver.
Or your liver.
There's so many other factors.
A lot of different factors that can contribute to skin health and stuff. So that's why the products that we design, my daughter has a horrible eczema and things like that. And so that's how I started cooking that stuff up as well, is to really combat some of the common things that go on that people suffer from. And to give them some hope that, there's something to do about it, So
it's a great sell, right? I mean, look at them. They look like they should be on a commercial.
Oh my God,
Thank
you.
Maybe you are intuitively picking that up, Elise.
Maybe so. I mean, maybe they've been I'm sorry, but they've been on Dentine. I know Janet's here. She knows. She remembers those ads. I know Janet is here, the love of my life there. She's there. But yes, I mean, they're so, my God.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Just to touch on a point though, too, with that all in mind, the mind, body, and spirit, but also giving yourself an opportunity to be not so hard on yourself by not soaring to the stars in the first day, or knowing that this is a process that is one step at a time, one day at a time, and it begins incrementally and then grows from there. And you're not supposed to tackle Mount Everest on the first day of climbing. So,
Right.
And I feel like that point was also brought up quite often in your talk, and it just, that's the overall feeling I get, which I appreciate as well. Because I even had that as an Aries, you know, like and you, Elise, you know,
We know.
we get that energy of just like, oh, well, I know I haven't climbed a mountain before, but Mount Everest is calling my name. And it's just that kind of that urge to just like jump in. But
Yeah, I'll do it
I
Sunday.
need that reminder. And I'm sure you do too, Elise.
Thank you, Terence. Thank you.
So I have to go, but I just wanted to share. Hi, my name is Frida. I haven't been in a while because just life, whatever.
That's fine.
And so I'm happy to be here, but so thank you. Hi, Terence. Nice to see you all.
Always a pleasure.
Randi, Reverend Harrington. So love to see all of you. But what is so interesting is that Elise and Randy and Ryan said modeling, right? So the first thing that comes to my mind, because I'm a high school social studies teacher, is modeling is like a part of what we do every single day. Mm-hmm. But the interesting part is that Reverend Harrington was the one, Reverend Janet was the one who said that I would become a teacher 3 years ago, right? In one of our meetings in church, and she's here tonight. And then here I am in my second year finishing. I didn't finish my first year because the pandemic. Now I'm finishing my second year because of this damn pandemic remote. And I'm feeling like I was late because I was doing laundry. And then I saw my school's Instagram page and all the graduates, you know, they had their first picture day today. And I literally was like bawling in the laundromat before I came here because I was like, oh my God, like we made it. Some of the kids made it. I felt the most despair that I've ever felt in my life this year, like the pit of hell. And then I come here and you guys are like giving me life. And I just feel so grateful and honored, and everything is connecting. And I'm just so happy. And I just wanted to share that.
Yes. Well, we're so happy you're here.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that for sure.
Amazing.
And just to let you know, Frida, it doesn't matter how much time goes by, or how often or how infrequent, you are always welcome. The door is always open. You know that, your family.
Thank you so much. Same. That's that Aries energy, fight or flight. Yeah. Aries.
She said she's always in fight or flight.
So cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any last, last comments or last questions before we close the service? Anything else? Janet, Reverend Janet, you have to unmute.
I did.
Yeah, there you go.
Have I unmuted?
Yes, you have.
Wanted to say it's a wonderful, wonderful talk. And I'm very grateful that I was present tonight. Nice to see you, Frida. And Elise, I love you very much. You know that. I am out in the world. Your talk is wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Name
much.
of the book. Because that's for my niece. She needs that book. Thank you.
And just to let everybody know too, I have included a link to their Instagram, Twintuitions, or just looking up Twintuitions, and you can see the spelling there too in the chat. And you can look it up that way, or you can also go to their website, twintuitions.com. I've also put that link up, and then Frida put thank you, Frida, for putting up that's a question mark. The Body Keeps the Score. Yes, correct. That is the title of the book. And I also put up the link to the Children's Defense. And I'm going to put in also Marion Wright. And Frida, you said this woman spoke at your high school?
At my college, yeah.
Oh, your college.
Yep. Yeah, pretty amazing person.
Mm-hmm. So really worth mentioning.
Hey, Terence, we're just clicking the link and then there's a way to go direct to the fund, or do we send the money to you? How do you plan?
I say just if you feel inclined to give, just follow the link and give it that way.
Okay.
And we've had in the past where people have made the donation in Open Doorway's name, but that isn't a requirement. We just feel like, hey, it's out there. Here.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, thank you for that. I saw the link. Yes.
You're very welcome. Just a quick, I'm going to share the screen really quick, just some upcoming things for the Open Doorway. If I still have it. Yeah, I do. Oh, everybody gets to see my messy desktop. Oh. So a couple events coming up for the Open Doorway. So of course we have another service this month. That will be a Sunday, June 20th at 5 p.m. and we will have the Reverend Renee Rossi as our guest co-minister, and she will also give the lecture talk. And then we have some message circles. We've been saying Janet a lot tonight, and she's coming up on it. She's going to be co-connecting with me at a message circle on June 11th.
I'm coming. I'm coming with my mom.
Elise is going to already get her ticket. And so we're going to be doing that together. And it's always a lot of fun doing circles with Janet, my good friend. And then June 25th at 7 p.m., another opportunity to see and experience Renee Rossi's wonderful abilities and her energy, and she will be doing co-connecting with me on June 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, you can reserve your spot at awakeningny.com/workshops, and they should list all the dates there for you for the June circles online. Of course, these are all online. But if you wanted to see me in person, I do once a month go up to Port Jarvis at the New Awakening, 85 Pike Street. And I will be doing a small message circle up there on June 19th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you want to, take a drive or take a train or, and maybe if you want to take a flight, I don't know. But if you want to see me in Port Jarvis, it's a beautiful area, and it's with a lot of wonderful people that come through the Awakening NY store. So yeah, I'll see you there. And with that, I am going to have everybody take a deep breath. Let's take a big, deep breath in. Let's just soak in all that positive vibrations that we've received tonight, all that healing energy, all that wisdom, all that New York City noise. That happens more often than you realize.
It's like, are they okay?
They like to rev their engines on 148th and Broadway. No other block. And just fun fact too, the fire department likes to also go to emergencies and fires on 148th, even though 148th is infamous for double parking. And they decide, okay, let's go, and at 8 a.m. they're honking, they're blaring that horn to get them to move their car. So Sayla, Spirit wants me up early. With that said, let's just close our eyes. Take a few nice deep breaths in. Divine Parent, thank you for granting us this capability, this tool for us to be together, to be connected, and be able to share wisdom and light and love and warmth and friendship, even just by turning our computer on. We can experience that. And thank you for allowing this space and bringing us together for that shared wisdom, that shared light, and that shared healing that has been bestowed upon us. And let all of that warm, wonderful energy remain in our hearts and our minds as we go forth. And there's sometimes, or maybe more frequent, hectic lives, but allow us to recall those moments, that moment of support and love and healing whenever we need it. Amen. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Randi and Ryan, for joining us. Many blessings. Yeah, it was wonderful talk, really wonderful. And
Thank you again for having us.
And I don't mean to hang you on to you a little bit longer just for one moment, but I just wanted to comment on something you said, Randi, that really, it's like I talk about it, but it never really hit me. But we are energy. Like you said that we're consist of energy, and that and energy needs to move. And I was like, oh, she is so right about that. Oh man, and it was very profound for me, as well as the rest of your talk too, and the advice and lessons that I learned from it. But that really just was like, oh, I really needed to hear that. So, because I talk about energy all the time, but putting the focus on getting the body moving, allowing that energy to move too.
Yes. Yes.
For healing.
No, I'm glad that resonated. Yes.
So thank you, everybody. This is the opportunity for anybody to unmute their mics and say toodaloo or any other comments or maybe thoughts that they'd like to share.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, I apologize for not getting your name, but for the one who's a social worker, are you also intuitive?
So, Ryan tells me I'm intuitive. So I believe that everyone has intuitive abilities. And I think that's just about cultivating it and, really practicing and all of those things. So for myself, I do believe myself to be an intuitive, and I use those gifts in my work. Yes. So I do sense that when I'm working with clients, and oftentimes it's not me speaking to them. Oftentimes I'm just receiving information. I'm just the vessel and that conduit to give that information, that message.
So the reason why I asked that is because you mostly concentrated on speaking about your profession, and I didn't hear you say a lot or mention about your intuition. I said, okay, I know your sister would have told you, but I just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Ahmad is just letting you know that confirming a message that Ryan has already stated.
Yes. No, thank you. Yes,
Okay. Have a good night.
Have a wonderful
Good night.
Right, thank you.
Nice to see everyone. Good night.
Nice to see you,
Nice
Dave.
meeting
Thank
you.
you.
Nice to see
Nice meeting you.
Lovely.
Okay. Oh, we're like, I'm like, I don't know.
Flipping through it.
You guys are all set. Thank you so much for joining.
Okay. Thank you again,
Thank you for the
Terrence. We
invitation.
appreciate it a lot.
Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun having you here, and we'll have you back again if you allow.
Would
Yes.
love to. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Terrence. You too. Bye.